The word grace is from the word charis. Now, charis means a lot of things. In the days of the New Testament, the word charis, which is a Greek word, can mean gifts, it can mean favor, it can mean mercy, it can mean good disposition, it can mean an office, it can mean power, it can mean responsibility, it can mean proper appearance, it can mean self-respect. That's versatile use. It was a common Greek word in the days of New Testament. And when the apostles and the writers of the New Testament were penning the Gospels and the epistles, they made use of the versatility in the word grace. Unfortunately, the modern Christian wants to force a single meaning on that word grace. That's where our problem begins, because we want to attribute and restrict that versatile word charis into a single meaning. That's a big problem, because in the period when the apostle picked the word, they were also aware that the word grace has several meanings in their time. I mean, the word charis has several meanings in their time. It's akin to the word mess, but in Nigeria it has several meanings. It can, in the colloquial pidgin English, it means to pollute the air, to fart. It can also mean to disappoint, depending on the way you combine it or the way you use it. It can also mean a confused person. It can also mean a confused environment. It can also mean somebody who is a disappointment. It can also mean something that is not clean, something that is ugly, something that is dirty. It can also mean something that is disorganized. It can also mean something that is not pretty. So the way the word mess has several meanings, both colloquially and in the regular English vocabulary, is the same way the word charis has several meanings in the days of the apostles. So when we want to interpret scriptures in terms of the word grace, we must be careful not to force a single meaning to that word grace. If not, you have problems of misinterpretation or partial view of what the Bible is trying to say. For example, in Luke chapter 2, when the Bible says Jesus Christ grew, I understand the word interpreted, I had favor before men and all the likes. The word the Bible interpreted to mean favor there is actually also from the word charis. Now, when you get to Titus chapter 2, that word interpreted grace there is also from the word charis. So you find in one place the English translators call it favor, you find in another place they call it grace. So for you to understand and have a proper perspective and understanding of that versatile use of charis for grace, you must look at grace as a concept, not as a meaning. You must look at it from the angle of a concept and not from the angle of a specific meaning. What is that concept? That concept is the fact that we as Christians depend on God for everything, for our life, for our strength, for health, for healing, for anointing, for the ministry, for everything. That's the concept. And that's the concept the word charis, that when the apostles, the writers of the New Testament, made use of that word grace, that is charis, that's the concept they have in the mind, that everything comes from God. It is God that gives us everything. It's God that enables us in ministry. It's God that justifies us. It's God that forgives our sin. It's God that prepares the coming kingdom for us. Everything is God. We are nothing without Him. That's why the word grace was being used in different formats. We say we're in the era of grace, the era of grace, the era of grace. You must define what you mean by that grace when you say you're in the era of grace. All right. See you next time. I hope you enjoy this. Grace, grace, oh, grace.